because paying attention to everyone, that's what everyone in this community wants.
What's
going on? YouTube world. Michael, Steve, I'm Dave. Oh man, IRP 262. Stuff to talk about today. Not a ton, I guess. Not the usual gamut of nonsense. Probably stick to some of our old school stuff, like the ripping on pompous assholes. No, probably not. Well, that'll be sprinkled in like usual. I mean, that's always like the undertone of everything.
Usually,
but NFL playoffs, coaching carousel, teams going to the conference title games without their starting quarterbacks. It's just a lot of interesting stuff going on, and
don't forget cold weather.
Yeah, that's a coming.
Well, you already have it, so
it's and not like where Texas is like 35, 40 degrees and people are bundling up. It's like, no, you guys are going to be extra cold. And when Michael's getting below zero, that's fun times are in hand.
Yuck. Yep. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
What's going on, Brian?
It's been a while since we've had single digits. February of 20. Well, I think we had a couple days. Couple years ago.
What's going on, Jeff?
But they were lows in the single digits, which is what we're going to be experiencing. It wasn't highs in the single digits like it was in, what was that, February of 21, where we ended up like getting 10 or 12 inches of snow when it got all the way down to San Antonio, and they got more snow than we did further north. Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, the other day, Florida, the Panhandle got some actual measurable snow.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because the old neighbors, they go to Florida every year for the winter, and I got a text message today from him. He's like, "This shit needs to warm up. This fucking 30s at night, freaking for the birds," and like fuck in all capital letters, and usually I laugh at him and I give him shit about it. I'm like, eventually you're just going to have to stop going because it seems like that happens every other year. Maybe that's a trend. I don't know. But I didn't make fun of him this time. I just told him, I was like, yeah, well, we're going to be in for some really cold fucking weather with some potential of some precipitation. So it'll be interesting to say the least.
Should have told him pack his winter jacket.
If I'm being honest, I don't know if they actually prepare for that possibility. Even though it's because they were there the 1 year in which, the whole beware of frozen iguanas. Like they were there during that.
And I don't believe in Florida when you talk about winter gear that even exists.
Not likely.
Well, I wouldn't think so. But them coming from Texas, like they could still, like they would have something.
I mean, even like a chamois shirt or a flannel, or not even be something like the extent of what you could find there.
Yeah, I would expect nothing. So if they didn't bring it with them, then they're kind of hosed and screwed. But you would think, past precedent, better to be safe than sorry. Take something with you just in case.
Well, even like a small bag or like dedicate one duffel for like, hey, in the off chance that it isn't pristine weather, which it really isn't an off chance. I mean,
they're in
down in Florida where it gets in the 40s, and again for the Floridians, that's like the North Pole.
I mean, they're in a almost 30-foot travel trailer, so it's not like they don't have room to have a jacket and shit. Like, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, even like a little tote or something that you can. Your
they've
cold
got
weather gear.
yeah, they've got plenty of space to stuff a jacket and some long sleeve shirts or sweatshirts or whatever.
Some
So
wool socks at the least.
if they don't take it with them, then not that they ever watch because I refuse to tell them the name of the podcast. Serves you
They,
right to not prepare.
they
I
keep
don't feel
typing
sorry
in
for you.
They keep typing in on YouTube. Shit sandwich podcast. Where is it? Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, there's only certain people that I'll actually tell them the name. Oh, I'll find it. No, you won't. It's not tied to my name. I could sit there and say, Dave Archer or Michael Phillips or my name. Yeah, okay. They may find our individual YouTube channels, but they're not finding the podcast.
They can suffer through those videos.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's only certain people that I've actually, hey, if you're bored one day and it's usually the football episode, if I'm being honest. Like when we have Brad on and we're talking draft or the upcoming draft, that type of stuff, then that's typically what I'll put out there to certain people that I know who may or may not have interest.
Well, you said that, like the new neighbor and his kid, when Brad was on you.
Well, and he watched part of one of the Christmas episodes. But he's not a regular viewer, nor would I expect him to be. I mean, he's got four fucking kids, man. So
Ew.
like his hands are kind of busy, So
Oh,
yeah.
would you? First, I'll start first. What's anything new?
In relation to what?
Life.
Life. No.
Nope.
Other than the fact that I've got my renewal letter for my lease for my apartment. That's the only thing that's new. And I love how they increase the rent a little bit, but yet, if I were to be a new leaseholder, my shit would be cheaper than what I'm paying now.
Of course.
It's like, and I understand the dynamic. I've lived in enough apartments. I know how it all works, but give me a fucking break. Okay, here's my 60-day notice. I want to sign a new lease effective this date. I want to keep my apartment, but I want it at the new cheaper price.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not like they won't do that, but
it's no different than freaking cell phone carriers or cable people. New people get it for
all
cheap
the
for
deals.
2 years, and you don't.
Being a loyal customer doesn't matter.
No.
I mean,
Not
granted,
at all.
it's going up $25. It's not like it breaks the bank, but still. When my apartment to a new leaseholder rents for $15 less than what my current rent is, but yet you want me to renew for 14 months instead of 12, and it's still going up $25? Help me understand the math to that. That ain't mathing.
Well, no, unless they built like whatever a little gym.
No,
Then
they have not done a fucking thing.
No amenities have been added on and provided more.
Yeah, there has nothing been added, and they changed the percentage of what the residents pay for the water bill without notifying us. So actually, they've kind of screwed us without telling us.
They're called happy surprises, Steve.
Um, No. Unless it comes with a reach around, it ain't happy.
Yeah.
Just saying.
One good thing about for Alicia and I this year is the new 2026 tax numbers. We go from being in the 22% category down to the 12%. With the new reform. The new reform, that was nice. We're going to still continue to have held out like we're paying the 22. So We'll just get bigger chunk because I've already done our federal taxes and we're getting just under 3,300 back. Next year it will be substantially more than that. Even.
Yeah, well, I'm estimating I'll be paying 10 grand this year.
Oof.
That's the joys of getting money from selling my mom and dad's house.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, if you don't.
But I plan for that. So, it's one of those in which it's not going to kill me.
Right. You were expecting it.
Correct. And then when Laura and I sold the house, we'll be filing separately.
Okay.
So the payment of taxes for what I got on the sale of my mom's house doesn't impact her, but it also doesn't impact either one of us for the sale of our house because we fell within the right qualifications to not have to pay tax on it.
Yeah, capital gains or anything.
Yep. But for the sale of my mom's house and that money,
now, did you both go to renting apartments, or did she go buying a house?
No, she's living at a house with a roommate.
Okay.
So yeah. It'll be interesting to say the least, but I knew it was coming, and that's it's a high estimation anyways. It may be a little bit less, it may be a little bit more, but again, it's not like I don't have it.
Right.
It's just going to be one of those in which it's like, I
have to give it away, and I literally feel like it was for nothing.
Exactly.
It just feels like theft.
Yep. But, it wouldn't have mattered if it happened this year, last year, the year before, next. It wouldn't have mattered. Capital gains. I know they're they've been talking about trying to change the threshold, but then again, I haven't bothered to look at exactly what that threshold was to make the determination of whether or not it would have impacted me or not. But again, it doesn't matter because it already took place. It's already happened. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not like it goes retro.
Right.
So, yeah.
Man.
Fun times.
Yeah.
I've never had to pay in the past ever. So it'll be interesting to see.
I've had to pay the state of Missouri 3 times, and it was $7, $3, and $1. I'm like, you guys are dicks.
They would have been better off writing that shit off.
You would think.
But then again, if there's, however many millions of people, $7 times however many millions of people, that's millions of dollars.
I'm guessing the state of Missouri doesn't have 3 million people in it.
No.
But again, $7 at, 3 million.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Even if it was 100,000 people, it's $700,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, it's not worth the paper that the shit's printed on for you to do anything with. That just seems counterproductive. But
yeah.
Then again, I guess I didn't realize Missouri had state taxes.
Yep. Yep, we have income tax in Missouri.
Because I know Arizona does.
It's not a lot, but it's still a thing. And then we have personal property taxes.
Well, that's everywhere. Yeah. Well, it should be everywhere. There may be some limitation somewhere, but
I wish we could get rid of it.
Well, then how would the state make any money, Michael?
I know. Well, all they do is steal the money and give it to the schools.
Yeah.
That's where 90% of it goes. Personal property tax. It breaks it down and shows, yeah, it's all going to the schools. I'm like, I don't have any fucking kids. I don't care if the schools suck.
Well, ours is actually broken up between and ours is the same thing too, but like it's state and then county.
Yeah, I'm just talking
the associated breakdown.
Yeah, I'm talking about my Pettis County personal property taxes.
No, I understand.
And yeah.
But the state of Texas keeps fucking with that shit too.
Yeah.
Oh, we get a tax break. We're reducing your property taxes for said year. So great.
Yeah.
We pay a little bit less, but then somehow you fuck it up, and then the following year we didn't have an escrow shortage, and then we're paying more. So you really didn't help anybody. You just backloaded it. I should say forward loaded it, but
yeah.
It's like, yeah, thanks for nothing, fuckers.
Yeah, I know. My sister, they don't have personal property taxes up where she's at in Iowa, but they pay a fuck ton of money for licensing their vehicles every year. Whereas I get 2-year tags for under $60. They have to get tags every year, and I think you pay it based on your vehicle. So you're talking like $500-$600 every year. So they get their money. It's just labeled differently.
So like California.
Fuck that whole state.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, that's how that's what California pretty much does with their registration for their vehicles.
Yeah.
It's based on the value. Because like us, ours is every year. We had to do emissions testing, which is like $15 because they got rid of the safety inspection as part of our inspection.
Okay.
That's great and wonderful. Now everybody understands why. It's so all the fucking local municipality police forces can write more fucking tickets for a burnout taillight or whatever, because they don't check for that shit anymore.
Yeah.
But like my registration is like $65, $75 every year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to get a safety inspection this year for the first time since I've owned my vehicle. I went over the 149,000 mile threshold.
Oh,
so now
there was no threshold here. It was once a year. In order to get your registration sticker, you had to have it inspected, which was emissions and safety inspection.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of the safety inspection, and now they just do emissions. So years ago, we actually had 2 stickers. We had freaking our registration sticker and then our inspection sticker. It was 2 different stickers. And the same rules apply. If you don't pass inspection, you can't get your registration.
Correct.
So no, that's not that. That's kind of funny. That's not in fact true. Something changed as a default where it automatically disabled comments. So the last 2 episodes, I actually went back through last week and I turned on comments. So if you want to go back and leave comments, you can. They've now been re-enabled. And I've told Dave, it's like, hey, when you set up the future shows, make sure you double check, because this isn't the first time it's done it. There were a few episodes, and I don't even remember when, but it was only like one episode, which I thought was odd. And then like a few weeks later, it was another episode. This time it was 2 in a row. So I'm like, okay, somebody's changed something from a default perspective, whether it be StreamYard or YouTube or whatever. So comments are enabled on this one. I double checked just in case, even though I had a feeling you remembered, Dave, and you were checking anyways.
Looks like you got a new offensive coordinator, Dave. Mike McDaniel.
I had seen that. Well, he took his name out of the Cleveland running, which is incredibly smart. And you'd heard rumors. I'm like, well, I don't see him going to. Where was it? Tampa. They were talking about him.
Yeah, ESPN just posted 6 minutes ago.
If you can.
He made Tua look like an MVP at one point.
True.
They need, and again, depends on what Khalil Mack does. Because I know he's a free agent, but you're going to need some help on the D-line.
D-line and offensive line.
But that offensive line, you need fucking depth. And I've said that for as long as I've lived and been a Chargers fan. You need depth because every time somebody gets hurt, whatever your backup is, it's like trotting one of us out there. It's not good, and I don't know how you don't draft, your scouting department isn't.
Yeah, your offensive line's got to go about a dozen deep.
Yeah. And again,
you need them to be able to fill in at least 3 positions at a minimum on both sides of the center, whether it be the left or the right side.
When you look at the guys that don't get drafted, that are your priority free agents or even like a non-priority guy, you're taking people that have how many games of experience? Like you're just looking like who's played a ton, who's played in some decent games and some bigger situations. Let's see if they do well. If they don't, can we stash them on the practice squad? I mean, you can't. That Trey Pipkins, you run him out there for like 3 or 4 years. Why? He's shown nothing. Storm Norton, they finally let him go, I think, last offseason. That was another one. Anytime I saw him coming on the field, I'm like, well, Herbert's getting pressure from his side. And then, sure enough, first drop back, it's like he's standing still like a statue. It doesn't make sense. But that's how it's always been there. So
it's always
I'm
something.
used to it.
Always something.
Yeah, I'm curious to see who we bring in defensive coordinator. There's a lot of good names out there.
Mm-hmm. I saw they want to get an interview with Gannon, Jonathan Gannon. So
I think a lot of Packers fans are wanting Jim Leonard or Raheem Morris or Flores. I would like Brian Flores personally, but I don't think he's going to leave Minnesota for the same position in Green Bay.
Yeah, he's going to move on if it's going to be head coach, not a lateral move across.
And to me, he should be a head coach.
And he should be a head coach in Pittsburgh. That would be
a great spot for him. He should still be the coach in Miami.
Yes.
They didn't like the fact that he didn't coddle them bitch boys down there, so they kicked him off. And then, yeah, he was very good.
I wonder who's going to hold out for Vance Joseph.
I don't know. I imagine Harbaugh and other dude who signed are probably like, fuck, the Bills job came open.
But I think with Harbaugh, when you're getting $20 million to coach, that's crazy. I don't think Buffalo is going to be They might be close, but I don't think they'll get to 20. I saw that number and like, really?
Well, Buffalo, the problem up there is if they did want to move on from McDermott, they really needed to move on from the GM.
Right.
The GM keeps, and apparently that was the story that leaked, that the reason McDermott lost his job is because they had a meeting between the owner, the GM, and McDermott, and they kind of asked McDermott, what he thought the problems were, and he pointed out all these things with
the GM,
the way the roster was built, and the GM and owner were kind of stunned and be like, "Oh, we're just going to fire you."
Yeah, which again, you can see that over the years where it's like it's a little better Chargers roster. You don't have depth.
Well, it's the same thing that happened all those years with Rodgers with the Packers. The last 10 years with Rodgers is no different than what's going on with Josh Allen, where it's, hey, we've got this great quarterback, and we're just going to see if he can carry us the whole way.
With minimal support.
Yeah, and with no weapons.
None.
You're going to have to do with the guys we get off the street or the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks.
Yep.
And what are you talking about? They traded for Amari Cooper last year, man. That's huge. Again, in a Madden game, that's great because he still has value in a Madden game, but real time, no. Cleveland or Oakland or Raiders, whoever it was lucky. They're like, fuck, I don't get a 6th-round pick for him. Hooray.
Yeah, because he was drafted by the Raiders, traded to Cleveland.
Dallas.
Or did he go to Dallas, then Cleveland? Yep. Okay, Dallas, then Cleveland.
Yeah, the crazy thing is with freaking, not that it would have changed anything, but the wide receiver room in Dallas, if he would have stuck around longer, could you imagine really what that would have looked like?
Yeah.
I mean, two legit number one receivers. Of course, Amari in his prime, which at the time he was in Dallas, he was still in his prime.
Yeah.
But 2 legit number ones. And another guy on the cusp of being a number one. Maybe in another organization.
Yeah.
And then you had a straight number 2. So
and you had a great offensive line and a quarterback and a running game.
And a hell of a tight end. So it would have been almost like the Cowboys of the 90s and all the Super Bowls. Because they had the depth. Of course, they didn't need a number 3 receiver, really. Because they had Novacek.
Yeah.
But it always blows my mind that so many of these guys, it's like they feel like they deserve more playing time, more touches, which then dictates them getting paid more, and they go somewhere else hoping that they become like a number 1 and to get the touches and make a little bit more money, and then they fall short, and then they're traveling all the time because they're not living up to expectations.
Yeah.
Because
it turns out when you're the number 2 or number 3 and putting up big numbers, you want to be the number 1. You're not getting guarded by the best defensive player on the other
team.
You go somewhere be a number 1, and then you've got the number 1 corner from the opposing defense on you.
Correct.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Of course, unless you're Denver, like fucking PS2 only plays one side of the ball. So he does. I've never understood that.
Sherman was the same way, wasn't he? Sherman only played one side of the field. He didn't travel.
I think Dion was the same way.
Well, that's what Dion was.
Yeah, and Dion didn't tackle either.
No, he did not.
He bent down to pick up a 20, but he wouldn't pick up a fucking tackle.
No.
But I've never understood that. Like, your best corner should always be on the best receiver.
Yeah.
Like, I just, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's just the footwork isn't the right way to work on the other side of the field? Like, I don't know. I just never understood.
They only want to learn one part of the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
maybe they only have the ability to learn one part of the playbook.
Right.
You would hope that wouldn't be the case, but I guess that's always a possibility.
I mean, it's why a lot of receivers don't develop is because they can't run all the routes. They can't do the full route tree. They can only run the X.
Keon Coleman.
No.
No, Paul. We have not even talked about it, nor were we going to talk about it. That was the stupidest fucking thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Anime fucking mixing with the Broncos, all because of the mascot. Like, I don't fucking get it, but whatever. To each their own, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately, like, I lost my 45 seconds of life that day watching that fucking reel or whatever the hell it was, whoever sent it.
I like know what the reference is.
Yeah, I just added.
You're not missing anything. You would have said the same thing that I did. What the fuck is this?
Okay.
Oh, it was sent in the freaking group chat. And I think it was actually longer than 45 seconds, but like, I want that part of my life back. Please. I'll be right back. I've got Charlie over here giving me the side eye, telling me he needs to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Well, I just saw something insane.
What's that?
A card listed on eBay by MC Sports. It's another one of my Rogers Chromes, and it's on card.
Really?
Yeah. It's serial numbered 4 out of 10. That is
the Favre serial number.
What's that?
You could have the Favre.
Yeah. I got to send this to my buddy Joe Servant. He has a lot of big time Rogers cards that he bought when Rogers was a rookie. So he locked into the cheap side of the Rogers rookie stuff that's not worth a lot.
Because it never shows up.
Yeah.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, Baz. I saw I didn't watch any of the games. I basically slept over the weekend and watched. What was it? There's on Netflix. Tristan and I watched about the Buffalo Bills, the '90s Buffalo Bills thing, and they went through that, and I kept telling her the whole time. I said, again, when you go to 4 straight Super Bowls, yeah, it's horseshit you lose. And I remember back then, yeah, it was fun to jab at him, but I'm like, now you look at that, I'm like, you ain't getting. You go back-to-back Super Bowls just to get back-to-back, and you're not the Patriots or the Chefs. Like, you're doing something right, because once you go to the Super Bowl, it's like a apple tree at prime picking time. You're getting plucked of everything that is available, and then half these guys want more money because you go to the Super Bowl. So watch that, but yeah, I slept quite a bit after last week and how much driving I had to do the week. I was fucked by Saturday when I got down to her place. I was absolutely fucking toast. I disrobed and I crawled into bed, and the pup climbed right on top of me, and I petted it for a while, and I was fucking out. I was just dead. So I did not see. I think what I see, the only football that I was actually able to watch, because I got back to Ely probably about 7-ish, a little before 7 on Sunday night. And I went to work and I was there till about 8:30, quarter to 9-ish, and I saw the Bears. I don't know if they started the drive or not in overtime. It was about 2 or 3 plays before Williams threw that interception that DJ Moore decided he really didn't care to be a part of.
Yeah, that was. Now,
no, Williams has said all the right things.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. Caleb said all the right things, but anybody watching that can tell he
made that.
He didn't cut that route like he was supposed to.
Oh God, he rounded it.
Yeah. And like the announcers even said, it looked like he was never expecting the ball to come to him. So he just didn't try.
No.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Happy. Made me happy. But that was definitely not on him. I did see a funny meme, and it showed, Caleb standing at the, a fork in the road. You had Tom Brady on this side and 2 on this side, and it says Caleb Williams every single play deciding who he's going to be.
It is correct, because
he can make some of the
times. There's times you can even have like a little head of Brett Favre in there when he's throwing sidearm off your back foot. I think the game against you guys last week, he had one where he fit it in there somehow, and I'm like, how do you look like this?
Yeah, how do you make that throw and then immediately make this one?
And then you look like Max Brosmer for the Vikings, who played against the Sea Chickens up there and had that underhand pick 6. It's like, you look like that on a few plays. I'm like, you're the number 1 pick. I get where, okay, there's gonna be a few plays where it's, that's not a great choice, but it looks like your first time playing quarterback. Hey, take the ball from the center. Where's the center at? So, again, I know you don't want to see the Bears have any measure of success. I get that. But when they are of playoff caliber, it makes football fun.
Oh, for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Because if they're a doormat, it's like, yay, what a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, the Cowboys, on the other hand, they could be dog shit forever, and I will be gleefully happy.
Yes.
Because Jerry Jones deserves that. And so much more.
Yeah.
I know I was hoping to see Allen. And that's the one you just want to have, not only for Josh Allen, because I don't mind him. He's a solid player, and but for Buffalo, even before watching the documentary, I'm like, that's like the Minnesota without the goofiness. At the San Diego or Chargers, where again, without moving. Buffalo, who they've endured a lot of tough times for their football squad.
Yeah. I like seeing obviously I like seeing everybody in my division be bad.
Yes.
But Bears the most. Vikings second, mainly because Fran Tarkington, man, that guy just absolutely is a miserable son of a bitch.
Anytime the Vikings lose, it is even more so than Dallas, it is the best day.
Yeah.
I love it.
You live there. It's the same. The Chiefs missing the playoffs this year was exhilarating for me. I got more joy out of that than I did the Packers making the playoffs because I knew losing 4 straight getting into the playoffs wasn't going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
And, our best player being on IR didn't help.
Yeah.
So, and I just don't see. I didn't see a lot of things to be excited about for the Chiefs with that team moving forward.
No, they are. It's almost reminiscent of like the Joe Montana days.
Yeah.
Where you don't have a lot to like build on. And the people that you do are their free agents, or you're gonna have to pay them a ton.
Yep.
Now they did bring back Bieniemy.
Which that's a positive, but at the same time, it's your running game has been
garbage.
Yeah.
Pacheco that first year, I mean, it looked like he was running through a brick wall every time. I don't know if that got to him or what, but he hasn't been the same since.
Yeah, he didn't look like himself this year.
No, Kareem Hunt, I mean, he's done okay, and you don't want him as your featured back. All these receivers, you're getting all these like punt return, kick return receivers that you want to be number ones, or ones that love to drive fast and tote guns when they're so there's a lot of questions all over the league, so it'll be interesting whenever we get Brad on for like a free agent preview, he's coming on around then. Be interesting because there's going to be a lot of money thrown around again.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed with Kansas City going the opposite direction. No offense, Smitty. Even though I know you're probably not watching, but
yeah. And even if you are, fuck you. You should be on here once in a while.
I can't get the man to answer too much these days. I shouldn't say that. He always replies if I message him, but not a whole lot gets said. But that's the busy life of a father of 2 little kids.
Yep. It's different when they're teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
But the responsibilities of being a parent, like it is what it is.
I'm doing a horrible job raising myself, so
well, that could also go, that could also be said about the wife not raising you very well either.
Oh, at this point, it's too late.
This is true.
I was already ruined.
Yeah, if she didn't get you whipped into shape and trained early on, like, she's fucked.
I mean, she got me when I was like 34. So 34, 35. So yeah, I was already how I am. And I don't think I've changed much in these 8 years.
Well, the future ex-wife got me in my late 20s, and I was already the way I was.
Well,
of course, you know, being a stepdad and then, having a kid did change that a little bit, but still, again, like you're still pretty much set in your ways. So, And Dave, I just got to ask, why did you put anything in the subject or in the title of this episode have anything to do with the Dallas Card Show?
Well, you met Ryan there and it wasn't really for dinner. Oh, that's what. Yeah, he was in town for the Dallas Card Show, so it's Dallas Card. I couldn't put Dallas Card Show adjacent in the title, so.
Well,
you could have just put Steve's Big Adventure.
I could have. That'll be for another time. I can.
Steve's Montezuma Revenge.
No, none of that. I will say though, because what time did got there at about a little after 7 because traffic was kind of bad out here. It was a little over a 50-minute drive, which honestly isn't terrible. So I kind of know what that looks like. But again, we left at 6 o'clock because again, all we were doing was meeting up for dinner. And let me tell you that it's done at the hotel out there. I didn't realize that because I'd never gone, but it's actually held at a hotel.
Yeah, it doesn't look terribly huge.
No.
But I tell you what, there was a shit ton of fucking people.
Yeah.
A shit ton of fucking people.
That's why I heard from people saying that this was like a Saturday at National. The show was really big this weekend. There's a lot of people.
Well, so I liked Ryan's explanation or his classification or description. It was national caliber cards at the Dallas Card Show. So
it looked that way from his pickups.
No shit.
Well, so I do have some stories. So like again, we went to dinner. He invited the kiddo, and the sheriff was there. So which was kind of nice to actually be able to have a more in-depth conversation with him too.
Yeah.
But Ryan didn't do a whole lot of quote unquote business while we were at dinner. He was like trying to be responsive and things along those lines because again, it's been since, July of 23 since we last saw each other. And again, like we saw him multiple times, but it was, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. Love you. Here, can we get a picture? And that was about the extent of it. But I did get to see some of the stuff he picked up. Got to hold some really cool shit. Nothing like super, super like blow your socks off expensive, but still some really cool shit. And we were on the way back to the hotel when he was having a conversation about the LeBron. So I knew the LeBron was a potential.
Yeah.
Because he was having conversations and talking about, if he could get it for the right price, he wouldn't be out the full amount of money because, he had stuff on consignment or he had sold stuff on consignment with MC Sports Cards. So they would be covering part of the expense and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool if that would have that deal would have happened and I actually could have held a fucking LeBron RPA. Like that would have been really fucking cool. But again, I don't want to take away from some of the cards that he had picked up. Like it was.
I was talking about all the other cards. I didn't even care about that.
Oh,
one.
I know, and that's. I knew what you were referring to, but I didn't pay much attention to anything that was really going on, other than the fact that I was there to hang out with Ryan. I was more concerned about how things were going for Ryan. Like I could give two shits about anybody else. But I at least know where it is. The only thing I would need to figure out now is And at some
If
point,
you're rooming with Chris from Missouri,
no, where they actually allow you to park, because like they have a garage there for the hotel.
okay.
But my assumption would be that would be specific to the hotel guests, unless they also have a specific parking area for the quote unquote convention center part of it.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because I know, staying at the DoubleTree right across in Chicago, that hotel, that parking garage, it didn't matter if you stayed at the hotel or not, because the hotel didn't own it. The parking garage was owned by a private company, and it just allowed people to park there. And I imagine that's how it works at a lot of places, is the parking structures are owned by one company. The hotels are owned by, the hotels and stuff like that. And they probably, I'm sure they have
agreements.
Yeah.
A working relationship.
Correct. But as far as being able to park there without, because you park in the parking garages before you even go into the hotel check in.
Right. So yeah, that's the only thing that because I want to take my kid, because they haven't been able to open any Pokemon in forever, and they have a small want list of certain Pokemon characters that they would like to see if they could find, which are nothing super expensive, but I need to understand the parking situation before I look to try and, say, okay, we'll go such and such day or whatever. I did see that accordion Jacob set up at the Dallas Card Show. I don't know if you remember him or not, Dave.
I do.
I met him at the TriStar show in Houston when Scott and I went down to.
I was going to say, I remember that too.
Yep. And then my adept Steve was there out of the middle of nowhere, and he's from Chicago or Illinois, somewhere in Illinois or whatever. That was unexpected in itself. But I tell you what, getting there at 7:00 to pick up Ryan and the sheriff, there were people, because with Google Maps, where it takes you, it's kind of like it takes you to the registration desk or the check-in area, which is right near the bar. And all you saw were people walking from multiple different directions, and people sitting there with their fucking cases set up in the freaking just in the entryway, talking to people and showing cards and looking at cards and making deals. I'm going, Jesus Christ, they're fucking everywhere, man. So it obviously continues to do well. But it was nice to actually be able to just hang and shoot the shit and catch up, and very little about cards. It was mostly about life and how things go in this, that, the job. And that's not something that we've really had a chance to do since basically TriStar in Houston, other than having a phone conversation.
Yep.
Having a phone conversation is great, but to actually sit there across from each other and having conversations and everything else. And, hell, my kid was even involved in conversations, and typically anxiety gets the best of them and they don't say a fucking word. So both of them made them feel welcome, and, they were at least felt comfortable enough to engage in conversation. So that was also a positive. The only thing that sucked is I think it was a 20-minute wait to get a table where we went and ate, which is Ryan's favorite place. And I'll give you 10 guesses, and the first 9 don't count, of what type of food it was.
Yeah.
Mexican.
Exactly. That's where he goes every time he's here.
So that's his Maria's or whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but so they closed at 9. So like we got there, I think at 7:15 because it's kind of up the road and around the corner from the hotel. 20 minutes to get a table, long enough for us to almost kill a beverage before, we got seated. So it almost felt kind of rushed, even though I think we left, I don't know, about 9:15. So like they weren't letting any other people in, and the place was full. So it's not like, hey, by the way, it's 9:00. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny that our waitress stopped and asked as the night was wrapping up, are you guys here for like the card stuff, the Pokemon or the card show stuff? And Ryan was like, yes, we're both here from Missouri. And she goes, and she looks at the sheriff and she goes, I thought so because you looked really familiar and I swear you were here last year. And of course they just died fucking laughing because it's, they were. And they were at that restaurant. And she could have been their waitress.
That's hilarious.
But Ryan even told her, she's like, he goes, are you working tomorrow night? And she goes, yes. And he's like, okay, good to know, because we'll be here again tomorrow night. We'll make sure we ask for you. So it was good times. It was good to see him. And again, good to kind of chat a little bit more with the sheriff, because he's always in the background. Doesn't say a whole lot.
I always enjoy having conversations with John.
Yeah, he's
it's
very
been a
quiet.
minute since I've gotten to, but I always enjoy it.
Well, and that's the thing. I've never really had that opportunity, really. So,
I would talk to him at trade nights at Ryan's shop.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But very laid back. Like he's a cool guy, man.
Yep.
So
and a vast amount of knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's an encyclopedia. There isn't much out there that he doesn't see or know about.
Yep. And I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. But yeah, it was fun. I didn't send the picture to the group text. I did send it to Dave and Vinny. I got a picture with Ryan, of course, after we wrapped up when we got back to the hotel, because Dave always says make sure you take pictures. So
correct.
Had to make sure I got a picture. I didn't even bother to think. I mean, I could have forced my kid to get out of the car and take a picture of the three of us, but I was like, I didn't even think about it. So, but the food was good. The conversation was great. The few cards I got to see that Ryan had picked up were really sweet. The coolest was like he got a Clemente cut.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
Was it Diamond Icons?
I think so.
No.
I think so. It was great. I don't remember what the grade was, but the auto grade was an 8.
Which is solid for Clemente.
Yes, because his SIGs are
all
so
swirls.
Big.
And it was almost all ballpoint pen that was real skippy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He picked up the upper deck, the Mantle Griffey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But it was the Griffey auto.
Right.
But I was like, and I told him, I was like, those cards way back when were like pennies on the dollar. Why none of us were smart enough to pick that up is beyond me. But I told him, I'm like, if I'm being honest, I never thought I would have held one of these, period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if it was both or just like I never in a million years thought I would actually hold one in my hand.
I remember when you could pick the dual up for $2,500, $3,000.
Yeah, that's my point.
And now you don't see them really move for under 20.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what I was getting at, right? What was the other one? He had a Bobby Witt auto, I think. blue refractor. Because I know he picked up a shit ton more because, again, like that was the first night he was there. So, the Stuart Scott auto out of Allendingen.
Yeah, that was the one I wanted.
That was really fucking cool to see and he was telling me, he's like, he doesn't have shit for autographs. And I'm like, that doesn't surprise me. It was like, beautiful, beautiful example.
Yep. I wanted that one when I saw it.
There are a few other ones, but again, it's.
Well, that crazy Babe Ruth cut he got.
He didn't have that yet.
Yeah. Okay.
He didn't have that yet. So again, like I didn't get to see all the really cool shit, but I got to see some cool shit that he had gotten. What else? Shit, there was one other.
The 51 Bowman?
No, it was another auto.
Was it the Griffey Baseball Heroes? Hand numbered out of 90?
No, wasn't that one. It was non-sports.
Oh, non-sports auto.
Damn it, Ryan. Why can't you be here right now? Because I'm picturing it in my I'd probably have to go look at his reels and see if I could find it.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm pretty sure it was a non-sports.
The Jennifer Garner or the Vin Diesel Chronicles of Riddick.
It was the Vin Diesel.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yep.
And I think he said like that's his only autograph.
I was gonna say I've never seen that card before. I didn't know it existed.
I think he mentioned that was his only autograph. And again, like I'm not trying to sell the shit short because like some of those cards were comic cards.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. But like it was just cool to see him in person and hold him.
Well, that's the thing. You have some of that shit where, again, like you said, not to take anything away because the fucking Babe Ruth cut, a bat knob of how many guys, all this other stuff. But when you don't see something because there isn't anything available,
right?
That it doesn't necessarily mean because it's not a $25,000 card that it isn't insanely fucking cool to see and be like, man, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, and I wasn't looking at him through a showcase. I wasn't asking to hey, can I look at this card? It was the two of us hanging outside of my car while I was smoking a cigarette before I took them back, getting a chance to see the cards.
Like we were kids or teenagers.
Yes.
Hey, let me see your card. Cool.
Yep.
And you bring out the box and let me just look through them. That's what I'm going to do.
And that's exactly what like. There was some other thing. He's like, there's some other stuff in here, but this is the cooler shit. And I'm like, but hey, I'll take your word for it. Like, I'm just getting to see some cool shit. And it's not because I'm an interested buyer. It's two friends, like you said, hanging out. Let me see what you got. And just like looking at them. I mean, that was cool in itself. So at some point in the near future, will make a trip to the Dallas Card Show. So I will have some sort of.
See, now that you've sort of.
It had nothing to do with Ryan. That's not what it was.
No, I'm just saying, now that you've dipped your toes into like sort of, now you've sort of seen the area.
Correct.
That was one thing that you were like, I don't know about what and where and how it's going to work. And now you've seen that. The kiddo wants to
go.
Get some of the Pokemans. Like, okay, that we can do this. It'll still be weird, but going to a Dallas show and because again with all the connotations with just all the goofballs on YouTube and Instagram and everywhere else and whatnot, but like, kiddo, be prepared because that might be one to indoctrinate them on like, hey, let's take in some of these videos just so you get the scope of what it's going to be like there.
Well, at least they're 19. They can sit there and be like us and be like, that guy's a fucking moron. Because that's
I'm
exactly
just saying, like, with the amount of people there,
Oh, I know.
and the amount of noise and the amount of like the background and
Well, and that's what I express. I'm like, I want you to tell me when you feel like you want to go. They do it every 2 months. So they had it in January.
March.
March will be the next one. You need to tell me because I need you to understand there are going to be a shit ton of people.
And it's not going to just be like people shuffling by and looking, and it's going to be loud dipshits fucking yelling of "Let's go!" Dude.
Yep. It's not going to be like a concert to where like
you know people are going to be there, and they're going to be there for one reason to sing along.
Correct.
It's going to be multiple different personalities bumping into you, being rude. I mean, again, you don't want to fucking just sit and put a negative spin, but realize that again when you're going to be, and that'll be maybe the nice part.
Well, it's setting expectations.
Well, but looking for Pokemon, you're not looking for fucking. Well, I want to get the best deal on a Bo Nix rookie. I want to get the best deal on a Stafford RPA patch, and I'm going to be. No, it's going to be. Not that Pokemon doesn't have their collectors, which we know they do, but I don't think it's as cutthroat of a market.
No, it seems to be that cards are they cost what they cost. They don't seem to fluctuate all that much. Basically, the only time they fluctuate a lot is a lot like what happens with the sports cards. Upon release, there's certain cards that sell for a ton, but if you wait 6 months for the next product to come out, it drops.
Yeah.
Or if some influencer all of a sudden, again, Charizard was hot before any of this shit started.
That's the thing that I've thought has always been weird is that one character sells the entire product.
Almost.
It's really weird to me. Where that card is worth, let's say it's worth $300. The next best card to pull might not bring 20.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations, you're absolutely right. Like first edition, Squirtle and a few of the other ones are Blastoise. Well, some of those are
I think it's like a big 5 or something like that.
Yeah. And it's usually the ones that, like for first edition, the top Pokemon got the holo treatment though too.
Yeah.
So if they had the holo treatment, then those were the ones that you were looking for, not just from a holo perspective, but even just the base card.
And it seemed to be it was the cover art of the packs. Whoever the one, because in the first edition and everything, it's like 5 or 6 different characters are on the packs, and those tended to be the ones that people paid the big money for.
Yeah, of course I didn't pay attention to that, but that's probably that, and that would make sense.
Yeah.
Let's push these main characters, and that's what everybody wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's there will be at some point a Dallas Card Show.
I would rather go to that than I would go to National again.
Well, I'd say I could offer you a place to stay, but it'd be a couch if you decided to come in and go to the Dallas Card Show.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it just... National is just too big and too crowded and too expensive for me to have any kind of joy in it because I know most of the time going in there, I'm not going to find anything to buy for my collection. So I'm paying a lot of money to stay the night in some hotel rooms and attend the show. And now it is like all the years past, I just bought my ticket the day of. I just would walk in and buy it and walk into the show. Well, you can't do that anymore. You got to wait in a 3-hour line.
Mm-hmm.
That does not interest me whatsoever.
I get it. Of course, my other thought process when it comes to the show, like if Scott would be there, Stuke, if he was going to be there again, to be able to spend some time and chat with him, or if Pete Az made the trip again, because he's
He
been to a
always
few
does.
Dallas. I know he's been to multiple. So like to be able to have time to sit and chat with him, like full on chat.
But I can do that just get in a hotel room and never stepping foot in the show.
Well, and that's true too. And I mean, for me, technically, I could do the same thing too. It's like, hey, if you're going to be in the Dallas, if you're coming to the Dallas Card Show, let me know. Hey, let's go to dinner.
Yep.
Do? You could host your own trade night.
Yeah.
No. People are not going to drive 50 minutes to host
trading 30. That's what we're going to be doing. That's cards.
To limit the number of people that show up, no Zion cases. Then you won't have to worry.
Yeah, and it'd be no more than 5 people. I have to figure out what to do with my dogs. and I can only fit, 3 people in my car. So if there's any more than that, you're going to have to Uber your ass out here. Yeah, no.
But I need to start going to the Machinist Hall shows. I need to start going to those again. It's just that's now. I mean, that's a 3-hour drive to the Machinist Hall show. Yeah, because it's actually where Ryan's shop was towards Florissant. It was closer to Florissant than it is to where he is now. I would actually have to go past his shop on the highway, on the interstate past where he's at to go to it. But I know that there's a lot of solid dealers there. It's a good show, and they do it, every other month or quarterly, something like that.
Yeah, because it was the beginning or middle of April. Was that the one? Or is that?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. I thought they did theirs then, and then Ryan had the pre-nationals in May.
But again, they also have the Chicago Sports Spectacular somewhere in the mix of all that stuff too.
March for that. March and November were for those. Expo is end of April, early May, and then early November-ish.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, then all the other shows. There just seems to be
everywhere all the time.
A show once a year, twice a year around you now. God, it's every fucking 2 weeks. 50 shows are in the area.
Yep. I got to take the old man now. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I gotta look. It used to be there used to be, I think, 3 a year for Duluth.
Yeah.
Now there's one in Hibbing in October, so I don't know if there's going to be another one. But that's the problem. I don't want to deal. I know all the local guys from the shops back in the day, and they were douchebags and dicks then. I can't imagine they've done much better with the popularity of the sports cards and the sports, and I can't believe they've gotten any better. The one in Duluth has been good because when I go, he's got a shop up by the food court, and he remembers me, which again I'm usually pretty good with names. This I just fucking look off in the distance. I don't remember your name for shit, man. Yeah. But it's always, he's still collecting Josh Johnson. I'm like, dude, if you saw the collection, you know that that's basically filler in my casket. I'm like, there's not a chance that I ever stop collecting him because I'm digging my way to China. I'm gonna get there. So with Josh Johnson, it's I'm good.
No.
He's like, well, is it Northcutt too? I'm like, anybody I've ever talked about collecting,
still doing it.
Yeah, it doesn't go away. I'm not this guy or that guy. There's times I've sold stuff because again, it just behooves to move it. Josh Johnson and Dennis Northcutt, those times haven't come.
No.
They're not in the news anymore, so.
And it won't come for Kerry Collins or Jason Morrow or
Josh
McCown,
McCown,
et cetera.
AJ Venegas, Tony Zitch, Keon Clark, Alexander Daig. So it's like, yeah, I'm collecting the same losers. That's going to be this, and then just buy whatever is priced right that I enjoy. And
yeah, I haven't found anything to buy the last couple weeks, which is nice.
Replenish the old savings a little bit or checking. And
yeah, it'd be nice to have my bank account looking like
an adult.
Yeah, that would be great. But November, December, and January, or beginning of January, it really fucked me up. But the good news was I didn't have to pass on anything I couldn't live without. I'm still thinking about hitting Chase back up to see if he still has those leatherbacks.
Okay.
If he still has one this weekend, I'm going to buy one. I'll pay the $500. I don't care. Because they're incredible cards.
And
they're so rare.
Don't come up.
I had never even seen one of Favre until, 3-4 weeks ago, and I've seen 3 of them.
But that's how it's been too before, where you're like, I've never seen this card numbered to 10. You buy one, then all of a sudden one comes out, and you're like,
what the hell?
What's this bullshit?
And then it goes for less than what I just paid a week ago, and I'm like, fuck.
It hasn't been around in how many years, and I get one, and then another one comes out where you think, okay, if it doesn't match what I bought it for, it's gonna go for more. Nope. Somebody used their fucking coupon or something.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
One thing that shocked me was a one that I hadn't seen come up for sale in quite some time is a Favre Museum Collection framed Silverado. One of those popped up for sale over the weekend, I think, and it was listed for $500 or best offer. It sold for $480.
Wow.
I was like, well, that's nice. That makes me feel good about the one I have. But I was shocked to see it. Clearly, somebody else really wanted one because they just don't come up for sale very often anymore, even though they're numbered out of 25.
And that's the fun part. The baseball, what was the first year was either 11 or 12. I think 11.
I will be right back to continue this.
Okay. Now you're forced into speaking.
Yeah, now I'm forced to be on.
How's your week been? Besides busy.
Just busy, dude. Just beyond busy. It's what, Tuesday?
I
Yeah,
think so.
we had Mad Serbian last night, and he's all happy with C's progress. And she looked good against the girls her age. So then I came home and worked for 2 hours and then talked to my dad for 2 hours, and then that's the last thing I remembered. I know that I had the national the football game on for the national championship. I saw that they won Indiana.
Which I was happy about that because, again,
Yeah.
anybody that's watched college football that's of our age and followed college football that's of our age knows that, unlike Indiana in basketball, Indiana in football has literally been a piece of toilet paper under the public urinal on the ground.
Well, the best part of it was they showed, I don't know how true it is. The kid who grew up in Florida, Mendoza, grew up in Florida, wanted to be, go to the U. And the guy said, you ain't our cup of tea. So he worked his ass off and he whooped the shit out of him on his own. He didn't whoop the shit out of him. That was a closer game than it was a close game, but when it counted, he went Superman and went on his own, Tim Tebow style, flying into the end zone on a wing and a prayer, saying, "Steve, this is for Steve."
I see his brother transferred to Georgia Tech, the backup, because they got the kid from TCU coming in.
The transfer portal.
Which at least, again, that TCU quarterback committed early on because I think he's in his fourth or fifth year. So again, this isn't like a second year kid that's, oh no, I got to go somewhere else because someone's come here and I don't want to compete for the job. I want to go and get something handed to me, and including a bag of money. But yeah, that Mendoza's going to Georgia Tech because I think they lost their quarterback to graduation, that Haynes King. It was a very good dual threat, especially running. He's a white kid that's pretty good in like option RPO type stuff. So, but yeah, seeing all that stuff, and now what else did I see? Washington's quarterback was gonna, he had signed whatever NIL deal, and then he was gonna leave, and they're like, you're gonna get sued if you don't because you just signed a contract with us. And now Duke's got the same problem with that Mensa, which again doesn't represent the high level of intelligence that he probably doesn't have. He's a real good quarterback, but then you sign your NIL and then you're like, nah, never mind. It's not like if you sign the contract in pen, you can't erase it with the pencil eraser. It doesn't work that way. So they're filing suit against him, and this is your problem. You jump the shark with doing all this stuff, and you don't have any rules, boundaries.
No, just turn the NCAA into the minor league system for the NFL.
Yeah,
that's literally all it did.
I saw what on one of the D3 reel for football today on the Instagram. One of the River Falls guys won their first title ever for D3, the UW River Falls, and he's going to play at least James Madison. So at least you're jumping up from D3 to D1. But yeah, it's, again, if they had football cards like they did back in the day and it shows all the stats from college, I'd be shocked with some of these guys going 3-4 colleges during college, because why are you going to college? They should have some sort of program where, again, not everybody's a pro player, but guess what? You're not going to these colleges for education. That's the fucking ridiculous part.
Yeah, a lot of them aren't.
They probably can't even spell their own name. They're holding their crayon when they write on their check. Like,
Well, that was the thing about, that interview with Carson Beck leading up to this, where they asked him about going to class and whatnot, and he's like, I don't go to class. I graduated 2 years ago. It's like, at what point then you shouldn't be allowed to be on a college football team?
no,
You're not attending the university.
Yeah, graduated from Georgia, for that matter.
Exactly. Yeah, he didn't even graduate from Miami. He's just playing there.
He's basically a graduate assistant playing.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, could he be enrolled as an undergrad or a
Postgrad.
Yeah, like for his master's?
Yeah.
in what?
Underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
That was always the standard answer of Sports Center back in the day.
Yeah. It was always funny when they used to, like, whenever they'd pull the player up and they'd show their, their name, their number, what year they are, freshman, sophomore, junior, and they would always show the major. It was 95% psychology.
Yeah.
Because it was a joke degree. It was the easiest route.
Yeah.
Extracurricular activities.
Yeah, like fitness management or something. It's like,
Bitch, I'm going to be a PE teacher.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, liberal arts, it would also be like very easy to get through.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing either.
I'm not saying that it should be, but I mean, it's.
Yeah, there's a bunch of insane degrees out there. But as a college, you're like, wait a minute, this is, you want to do? Yeah, let's create a curriculum, and they're going to give us $100,000 a semester for this. Let's do that.
Well, and I mean, when you think about it, I'd be curious to know how many college players who go to the NFL actually finish their degree.
I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a massive number, but it's going to be more than you think.
And it's more from a curiosity perspective. And the reason why I say that is because you never hear about it. Every once in a while, you'll hear like a stud bring up the fact of, a degree, or he got his doctorate or some shit, something crazy. But you never hear that these kids graduate, that they actually get their college degree.
No, it's usually down the road, or it's cool whenever you see an active player like, hey, during the off season, graduate.
They're going to class. They're going to class or whatever to get there.
Got my master's degree.
The one I remember, I think the most, was Samari Roll, because he was on the whatever that like top 0.2%, whatever the
You're talking about the
Rhodes Scholar, whatever.
Yeah, it was Rhodes Scholar, but was it Samari Roll? No, it was. Was it Samari Roll?
I don't think it was Antrell.
Oh, I can't remember the guy's name.
Research
one who was a Rhodes Scholar, and he ended up becoming a neurosurgeon.
Because he went to England to go to the
Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm
Myron. It was Myron.
Myron Roll. That's it.
Yeah.
But that was like they made a big deal out of it, and I'm like, that's fucking huge. Because again, you have fucking Randy Moss. He's going to school for business. I'm sure he has dime bags and mixtapes. So that's not business. But I mean, again, if you want to classify that, whatever. But yeah, when you're going, or like Robert Smith, you knew that guy wasn't a dummy.
Yeah.
when you're talking astronomy the whole time, and it's just like you want to quit because okay, I am injury prone, but at the same time, I've got a big degree. If I need to fall back on, I can fall back on it. It's not like the history of literature or the history of poetry or something like. Yeah, it's anybody can study that. But yeah, I bet you what 20 to 30%. That would be my guess.
That was somewhere I was going to be around the 30, maybe 35%.
Well, like I wasn't sitting there going like it's going to be less than 1%. I knew it wasn't going to be super high.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you know, a lot of these kids go on scholarship to play football. Yes, they have to do something from a school perspective.
Class.
That's what I get though. I'm okay. Let's say now what
because you know some of these people are dumb as a box of rocks.
Well, some I'm going to say.
I was trying to be nice.
Why? It's not Christmas anymore. It's the New Year.
But how in these? But then again, what a D? It's not like high school. It's not a no pass, no play type deal.
But where I'm at is like, okay, now you got the ACC. You got Cal and Stanford in there, which again, our country in more ways than one is fucked. When the Atlantic Coast Conference, Atlantic Coast,
Yeah.
Again, not a geography major, but I know enough about it. Hold my own. Cal and Stanford are more on the Pacific Coast. So you've got them. Let's say you're at Stanford. You're playing, and again, Stanford probably not a great example because you actually probably still need to do quite a bit there. But let's say Cal. You go from Cal and you're playing ACC game up in Syracuse, New York. You're not preparing for the game for like a day and a half in that week. Well, Shadur Sanders, you can tell, never went to class anywhere, including classes on being classful or classy or whatever. That whole Sanders clan.
Yeah, to me, I think Shiloh was probably one of the more talented ones. And what did he do? Decided, I'm going to get in fucking fisticuffs with the freaking player in freaking preseason and literally screw myself out of playing in the NFL.
Well, again, you probably got daddy who's never said anything bad about you in your life.
What are you talking about? In the eyes of Deion Sanders, he talked about himself like he was the best thing since sliced bread.
He's the successful version of the LeVar Ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take away the freaking, like, he was a hell of an athlete, but like he was also so fucking conceited and stuck on himself.
Actually, the similarities are fucking creepy because both of them have had part of their leg removed. That just clicked.
Did he actually end up losing his foot? I thought it was a few toes.
Deion did. LeVar's lost I think a whole foot.
Well, no, I was talking about Deion.
Yeah, Deion has lost a few toes. I'm not sure if maybe they've taken off more because I know he had another surgery this year.
He had another issue, yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure the details there, but I think LeVar lost maybe like knee down or something like that.
Let's see.
Oh man!
Oh no, he had his fucking bladder removed.
Deion did.
Yeah.
Damn.
Surgery to remove his bladder due to high risk cancer. So like he's he's rolling around with the fucking colostomy.
Yep.
Because like my aunt just had hers removed, but hers was actually due to bladder cancer. But yeah, Dion's definitely had his past kind of catch up to him, I guess. Whatever that may be.
If you believe in karma.
Oh, I do.
It would
I'm a firm believer in karma.
Yep.
Both good and bad.
Correct.
I just wish more good things happen to good people than bad things happening to bad people. I know, call me crazy.
Crazy.
If he had his bladder removed, he has to have something. Yeah, like no bladder, no place to store bodily fluids. So he has to have something. And my aunt, who just had her bladder removed because of bladder cancer, has a colostomy bag. It may not be called that specifically, but it is a bag of sorts.
Correct.
Because I'm pretty sure colostomy is more meant for fecal, but it could be the same. Hell, they could be multifunctional. But it says he had his bladder removed. And again, like, it's not something that can be transplanted.
No.
I mean, at some point, I guess it could. At some point. But I don't think typically go on a list for a bladder transplant. I don't think that's how that works.
No.
I mean, call me crazy. Like, medicine, evolves fairly quick when it comes to things. And at some point, I'm sure there could be something. But yeah, no bladder. It has to go somewhere. Just saying. Not fun either way. Of course, if research department was researching, we could potentially have some more details. But obviously, he is in his own little world for whatever reason.
This is back-to-back weeks with collared shirt.
Well, he had like big wins this week, if memory serves me right. But
Deion Sanders had his bladder removed due to aggressive bladder cancer, but surgeons created a new functional bladder, a neobladder, from his small intestine, allowing him to be cancer-free and continue coaching. The surgery, called a radical cystectomy, sounds about right, was performed robotically in 2025. And while he manages the new organ with some lifestyle adjustments, like using pads, he's considered cured, a testament to early detection from routine scans from issues.
interesting.
Yeah.
So he has a neobladder.
But it's going to function the same way as what a colostomy bag would.
But it's internal.
Correct. But it's not like it's not going to be. I mean, I get it that they used part of his intestine, which is
it won't have the same functionality of an actual bladder. It'll
correct.
Probably produce a 75%. And again, that's why you're gonna have to wear like the Depends or whatever, and because it's not gonna be as like, oh man, your pelvic floor. I remember that. Like, oh man, if I've got a hold it in. I can feel it hold. Now with that, I don't.
There's not going to be any of that.
It's connected to your kidneys and urethra, allowing natural urination without an external bag.
Yeah, but again, like you said, it's not going to function the same. So it's going to be one of those in which when you got to go, you better go.
Not like I can wait another 2 or 3 exits. It's like, no, if you're not doing it now, you're filling your pants.
I mean, that's cool that they're able to do something.
It lacks the nerve signals of a full bladder, so you won't feel the urge to go as you used to. You learn to recognize fullness or emptiness on a schedule.
Okay. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, because I can imagine, again, bladder or whatever, it's you fill up the ball or the cup,
Right.
and then, oh man, I now I have to go.
Urine flows from the kidneys into the neobladder, and you empty it by relaxing pelvic muscles and bearing down with your abdominal muscles, similar to a bowel movement. So
that sounds like more work than what it's worth.
Yeah, because an intestine has mucosal membranes in it, and according to this, you have to flush out. You have to flush out the area because mucus could build up, which makes sense because it has the same type of nerve endings apparently.
It does different things, like that's built different.
Yeah, it's.
I know that's not a medical term, but that's ultimately what it.
I'm only a biologist. I'm not a doctor, so you only get like the first 4 years of medical school out of me.
Well, because like the intestine, it slowly moves stuff down, and it kind of like slowly works itself.
Here it is. It's made of bile tissue, so it produces mucus, requires regular flushing initially. It lacks the nerves that signal a full bladder, so you won't feel the urge to go as you used to. Again, on a schedule.
Which would make sense. But that, again, seems like a lot of work. To sit there and have to, basically like do what
it's bad. Dion, you amazing creature, you of human excellence on the field. You ain't dead, so God bless you.
Well, no, that's the rabbit hole I was expecting tonight.
Yeah.
Well, but that's also interesting because it didn't say any, like when I first looked it up, it didn't say that he actually had bladder cancer. It was preventative, is what it initially had said.
Well, again, we're looking on the interwebs.
Correct.
It could be a bunch of shit. So.
Correct. It's no different. Baz ended up sending me the post that he mentioned earlier about there's rumor that Bo didn't actually break his ankle during the game. He broke it during celebration in the locker room. And he sent it to me via Instagram. Well, guess who posted it? Backyard Breaks. Like, you think I'm going to believe anything those motherfuckers are going to put out into the interwebs? Of all fucking people. Like, really? I mean, I get it. Like, there may be some questionable timing of when it happened, but there are injuries that happen that aren't always visible to the naked eye.
And maybe not felt until the adrenaline wears off.
Well, and that's the thing. But, like, you could, after he kneeled down before that field goal, like, he was limping a little bit. You could see a little bit of grimace in his face.
Oh, yeah? I didn't see.
So it's, again, like you said, adrenaline does wonders when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
And, it's his plant foot as he's, dropping back. He's planting on the right, but, to do what he needs to. I mean, he could have stepped fucking wrong or whatever and done it that way. Who knows? I mean, fucking Micah Parsons tore his ACL by switching directions.
Yeah.
So it fucking sucks. That's for damn sure. Of course, there is a possibility. J.K. Dobbins actually started practicing,
Yeah, I saw that.
so that would be a huge help. But Denver needs to just run the ball.
Who was I know they signed a veteran quarterback. I just didn't see who it was.
Ben DiNucci came back.
Okay.
Oh, did he?
I just saw the headline. It says Denver signs veteran quarterback. I just didn't click on the article to see who it was.
Which, again, I don't... Technically, he's a veteran.
Yeah.
Veteran,
Yeah.
I think, like a Fitzpatrick coming out and like somebody that's been around for 10, 12 years and's played for 7.5 to 8.5 of them instead of you played 3 games with Dallas one year, you played 2 games here. It's like,
I would be willing to bet that had Brady not been tied to the Oakland or the Vegas Raiders, there would have been phone calls made.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Especially to go against New England.
Yeah, that would have been funny. I mean, there are potentially options, but Dallas, Jesus. Denver's defense is great. Yes, we lost 2 receivers. Is it possible that maybe Franklin's hamstring injury wasn't super bad? Pat Bryant, though, with a second concussion in a month, which is kind of scary when you think about it. They did sign another wide receiver to the practice squad who's played with Denver in the past. I saw that earlier today too. But Stidham is not like the bottom of the barrel backup quarterback either.
no.
So, although yes, I would have rather had Bo playing. Don't sell Denver short just because Stidham is starting quarterback.
No, where was it? Was it New England or Oakland or Raiders where you had sort of like the Matt Flynn? It wasn't as good as the Matt Flynn against Detroit last game, but he had a little run there in December a couple years ago. I think when Abel got hurt and then he went in and did, again, for the team that's just been a dumpster fire, he did well.
Well, he had like some of the highlights during the preseason for this year. Like he looked good, and he wasn't playing with first string offense either.
No,
so
he knows this stuff. He's been there now. What, 2 years?
I think it's 3. I think this is his 3rd year.
So I mean, if you don't know your shit by now, I mean,
it reminded me of the that Tom Moore quote. The guy used to be in Indy and he was down in Tampa, and they were talking about in the years where Peyton was with the Colts and everything. They're like, the backups never get any snaps with the first string or whatever like that. And they asked him about it, and he goes, "If Peyton goes down, we're fucked, and we don't practice fucked." Like, that's beautiful.
And that's a thing, again, unless you've got like a quarterback battle going on or some sort of battle, you need to know what the first string quarterback, how he's going to play as the quarterback. You need to know the timing with him, the speed with him. You need to know if you're running an 8-yard in, where that ball's going to be. I can't have somebody that needs reps. No, go with the fucking backups. Play with them. It's not going to do us any good. So, And I get, yeah, okay, let's say Nick's had a hamstring, a calf, or something that he's questionable. Okay, then you're putting Stidham in with the first stringers, not 100% knowing, but it's like, okay, you know what Nick's can do. Now you need to be sort of aware of how it's going to be with him, Stidham, because there is the possibility of him playing. Now it's no, he's your guy. If you win this weekend, he's playing in the Super Bowl, and again, another shot to the Raiders, and that's beautiful.
Well, and again, like if it was any other backup, I would be like, we're fucked. In all seriousness, because yes, there are some decent backups in the league. Let's say we went years prior and it was Bridgewater. You know, even though he didn't do bad in Denver as a starter, but again, you know, I wouldn't like my percentage of how I feel about how the game's going to turn out on the positive side would have been lower with him, or if it was, you know, a Case Keenum, or, you know, and yes, these are all past starting quarterbacks for Denver over the, you know, the quarterback carousel that they had. But, you know, Stidham's been there for a while. He's actually started games. He looked really good when given the chance to play in the preseason. Again, that's not an indicator of how things are going to be, because again, they're playing with second and third string guys, which is usually the same thing for the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I like our chances? Yes, but would I have liked them more if Nix was playing? Most definitely. But not all hope is lost with Stidham starting.
No.
That helps you feel if you're Josh Allen now. It's like Bo Nix isn't even fucking starting, or he's going to be available, and it's like, especially with some of those turnovers he had.
Well, and I said it, like, if Denver loses, I would be rooting for Buffalo because I like Josh Allen. I mean, you can't help but not like the guy. Because some of those losses that he had against Kansas City, it's not for lack of fucking effort.
Yeah.
You know, he played his ass off. But, you know, the game against Denver, he did not look comfortable. He looked like shit. And if I'm being honest, and that's the one thing I hate about this team in Denver this year, is offensively they're so like up and down, like you really don't know what to expect. But if it were, let's say it was the Denver Broncos under Peyton's leadership at the quarterback spot, and they were playing Buffalo, and Buffalo coughed up the ball 5 times, it wouldn't even be a fucking football game.
Yeah.
Like it would have been, 52 to whatever. Like it just would have been nuts. The fact that Denver let them stick around, that's the part that scares me with this team and causes high blood pressure and excessive heart rate and, everything else. Because again, if it were any other team, well, I can't say that because this postseason, the team with the most, who's given up the most turnovers, some of them were winning games during this postseason, which, like, in my mind, when you think about it, is extremely unusual. Usually when you lose the turnover battle, you end up usually losing the game unless something was like majorly crucial or you got a special teams touchdown, like like a pick six type situation. Like there had to have been something of significance to give you an opportunity and a chance to win the game if you're not winning the turnover battle. But 5 turnovers like that shouldn't even been a game. Yeah, I'm being honest. But
and then Seattle.
Man, Seattle just beat San Francisco's ass.
And again, you see a lot of they were hurt. Well, everybody's hurt this time.
Everybody's hurt. Yeah.
But in all fairness,
playing full strength right now.
No,
Darnold didn't do much though.
He didn't have to.
That's the thing. Yeah, he didn't need exactly like.
That's the beauty of it is that
correct.
They're so solid. They've got such a good game plan that we don't need to rely on Darnold to be anything other than what he did that game.
Yeah, just don't lose the game.
Yeah.
Shaheed is literally Jermaine Lewis. Darnold is literally Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Again, their defense isn't probably up to snuff with that Ravens, obviously, but that's all you need. And you've got one receiver that you can count on, really. Again, Kupp can do your underneath bullshit, do the dirty work. Yep. And then Najigba can do outside and
all the big stuff. Yep.
I'm like, yeah, the only bad part now with them, they lost Charbonnet.
Yeah.
So now it's like, he was really chewing into Walker's time. So now it's like,
Walker ended up what, 3 or 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, yeah, he goes off for that game.
Yeah.
So it'll be. I think these are going to be some really good games.
They should be.
Which is, I mean, most of the time you look and say, okay, it should be a decent game, but I see Team A pulling away or Team B pulling away.
Yeah, I don't see anybody pulling away from anybody in these 2 games.
Bo Nix is out. I don't know. Well, Lee Corso, not so fast, my friends.
Yep, it'll be a fun couple games.
What was it, Kenny Mayne? That's why they play games inside of TVs, not on paper.
Yeah. What's going to be really sad is here in the next few years when the NFC North only has one team not playing in a dome. Because Chicago's is going to be a dome. Chicago's going to be a dome. And then in the the AFC West, the Chiefs are going dome.
So are Denver. Denver's new stadium's almost done.
Yeah. So
it's fucking wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
Well, and that's the thing everybody's doing now. It's like you need to have a multi-purpose facility where it's just
that's the reason why they did it. It's
you want to get Garth Brooks at a 20,000 seat stadium or a 80,000 seat venue where you can really capitalize on.
And if you want to host a Super Bowl,
you have a big old, almost like a little community.
Yep. Yeah, that thing is fucking nuts. There's a few videos out there if anybody wants to go check them out. It's
when are they supposed to play there in 27 or 28?
I think it's 28.
Okay.
That's what they're anticipating.
I think the Chiefs moving to Kansas is in 29. Something along those lines. And man, the Hunts absolutely fleeced Kansas. Kansas is literally getting nothing out of this new stadium.
Nothing.
Not a single dime. all the money that's being made inside there is somehow funneled to another company owned by the Hunts and the Chiefs.
Ain't that a bitch?
It is a spectacularly bad deal for the state of Kansas. And I'm curious to see now what happens with because the whole thing was the Chiefs and Royals were both trying to get new stadiums. For whatever reason, they've got it in their mind that they want to get the Royals into downtown. Well, if you know anything about downtown Kansas City, there's nowhere to put a fucking stadium. Nowhere whatsoever. They have a hard time at, 5,000, 10,000 capacity concerts at the T-Mobile Center with traffic. What are you going to do with 30,000 at a baseball game?
Right.
There's nowhere to put the people, and they still keep pushing it. I'm like, man, the Royals are going to move too. But yeah, now I guess they're going to be bulldozing Arrowhead. They're not even going to repurpose it. They're going to.
Well, see, okay, then if that's the case, then they bulldoze it, then build a new Royal Stadium there.
But that's just it. The Royal Stadium's right next to Arrowhead already.
Oh.
Kauffman and Arrowhead are in the same complex. They're literally.
Are they?
The parking lots for the Chiefs games and the Royals games are the same parking lot.
Okay.
So whenever you go to a Royals game, you pay $20 to park. Whenever you go to a Chiefs game, you pay $70 to park. It's the same parking spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. But makes sense. I mean,
yeah, I mean, they're a couple football fields away from one another. They're right on.
No, I get that.
Yeah. The problem is that all the area around the stadium there, it's all run down and old and bad.
Is it?
Crime. Yeah, it's just a trashy looking thing. The big fancy hotel that was there, it's still there. It used to be called the Adams Mark back in the day, and it was a real nice hotel, 30 years ago, and it has not improved. I'm not even so sure it's even open anymore. It's still there, but I'm not sure that it's open.
So the city's kind of failed to try and re-beautify or reinvigorate the area.
Yeah, they did a lot downtown where the T-Mobile Center is. They've got what they call the Power and Light District, and it's a lot of outdoor entertainment and whatnot. It's a real cool area, but it's sat right in the middle of everything that's bad.
Oh.
All the really bad neighborhoods that you don't go in at night, and you probably shouldn't go during the day. It's sat right down in the middle of it.
Kind of like 8 Mile, right?
I would venture to guess that's probably accurate.
I've been down 8 Mile how many times? 8 Mile depends on where you will go on 8 Mile.
Yeah.
If you go to Long John Silver's, you're good shape. You got to go to one of the gentlemanly clubs for work purposes.
Yeah.
You're in good shape until certain things go awry in those places. But after a certain time of evening, might not be a good idea.
Well, that's kind of like the same thing with Oak Cliff down, where I am. There's certain parts of it that day or night you avoid. And if you can't, you lock your doors and you speed and you run red lights. Like you don't stop.
Yeah. It was the Sprint Center when it first opened, and that's the T-Mobile Center now. But we went and saw, me and a buddy, we went and saw Metallica when they were on the Death Magnetic tour. And we went and saw a concert. And when we got out of there, the way they were routing traffic out, we started looking at the name of the roads that we were on. We were like, oh, shit. We're not supposed to be here. This is definitely where you do not want to be. And we ran every fucking red light. We just rolled through every one of them. We roll up, see if anybody else is coming, and just go. You didn't stop.
Yep.
Because there were always groups of people hanging around the bus stops and the corners, and you're like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be at these intersections. Just keep going.
Yep. That's how part of Oak Cliff is. Like they're, and I couldn't tell you exactly what part of it, but there were significant amounts of money being filtered into certain parts of it because like millionaires, people with a shit ton of money were buying up like multiple properties and then building like their mini mansions and shit. And of course, that's ultimately what revitalized certain parts of the area. And that's been done in multiple different areas near downtown Dallas here.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's always going to be those areas where it's like, yeah,
where there's money, there's crime. It's just always going to be that way.
Yeah, during the day, it's kind of okay, but you know, between 10 and 2 a.m., yeah, no. Like again, you speed and you run every light.
Yep. And to be fair, 10 to 2, pretty much anywhere now in this country, just stay fucking home.
Well, that's true too. I mean,
that is the little city that I live in. You don't want to be out. I hear the sirens going all night long.
Well, we hear them here too, but it's usually fire trucks and the ambulance, not the cops.
Yeah, we hear it all.
But again,
we're less than a mile from the hospital, so we hear a lot of the ambulances and everything.
Okay.
But, man, there's always something going on with somebody shooting somebody.
But again, like, although I've moved and live in the apartment, I'm still on the same side as like my house was, so to speak. So I'm still on the north side of 380, and there's always a wreck on fucking 380 somewhere.
Yeah.
Always. So it never fails. We call it the music of 380, and it's always the fire truck and the ambulance because you hear them. It's not that consistent, but it almost feels like you hear them like every 15 or 20 minutes. And sometimes during that time, you may hear it more than once because where we situate, there's multiple jurisdictions that provide fire and ambulance. So there's a shit ton of fire departments like surrounding where we are. So depending on where you are, it could be Aubrey, it could be Little Elm, it could be fucking what's the other one? Krugerville. Like it just kind of depends on where you're situated here. Because like when we lived at the house, we had both a Little Elm fire department and Aubrey outside of the subdivision. We were considered Aubrey, but they changed it to where Little Elm started providing fire and ambulance support.
Okay.
And I have no idea where the fuck Aubrey ended up going, like where they were responsible for, because it made no sense. It was weird.
That would be.
Because for the longest time, we were serviced by Aubrey. Like our area was serviced by Aubrey because they were right there. But because Little Elm came through and like annexed a lot of the land in the area, they had to put the Little Elm Police Department or the fire department there. And it's actually like a makeshift police department too, which is really odd.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird. I think still like Aubrey ends up coming through here. If anything happens in the apartments, I think it's Aubrey. But Dave, come back. We're coming up at 2:10.
Yeah, this night kind of actually flew by. I didn't realize it was almost 10:30. I got to go to bed and go to work again. This is bullshit.
I know. Adulting sucks.
Yeah, it does. Fuck this.
I had to go start the car because again, when it gets this cold,
I bet.
Run for about 10, 15 minutes. I had to bring in all the pop from the front porch. Because again, when it gets nice and cold, that's great. But when it gets freezing like this,
They explode.
so
Yes.
bring all that in. So I'm like, well, if I do that, I can heat up more pizza and I can do that and get it done in 5-10 minutes. So
No, all good.
I'm trying to think what else. Nothing else on the agenda. A lot of driving for me this past week.
Yes, yes, it was. A lot of slow driving.
Oh, a lot of Star Wars driving.
Yeah.
When that snow comes at you and doesn't matter, high beam, low beam, and you can't see 30 feet in front of you.
Yeah, that's
it's
nuts.
awful.
You're like, yes. And then we're supposed to have a game in Silver Bay, which is up the North Shore on Thursday, but it's like an extreme cold warning through Thursday at 6 p.m. So I'm like, well,
Yeah, doubt that's going to happen.
doubt that's good. Yeah, exactly that. So that'll be what, the third or fourth game postponed till later for weather so far this year.
Well, you're on pace as for the same amount that you did last year.
And then for softball, you know, like the one girl who played catcher for her for like JV said she's not going to play. And then the starting varsity catcher also, which again, I didn't hear her say, doesn't look like she's going to play. You too, Brian. And I'm like, well, that put you guys in a fucking conundrum. Because your next catchers are not ready for prime time at all. There's a girl in her grade that likes to pop up every time the pitch comes in, so then you obstruct the umpire. And then there's one in a grade below who's just not even close to being ready. And there might be one in the grade below that, and again, not even. I can't even imagine. I'm just like, she's gonna fucking literally hate the sport when she gets done because she just every time somebody goes, it fucks her up absolutely directly. So
Yep. That's the one thing I can say about my kids in high school. There was a 7-year stretch where they had almost an all-state catcher, first or second team. So,
and that's what's horrible. These two girls are really good.
yeah.
One that's would be a junior this year, or is a junior this year. Very quick, speedy, steals bases. Is our leadoff. Good receiver. But I think Naomi said something about like, well, she doesn't like how the coach treats the pitcher, and the pitcher is the coach's daughter, and he's tried to say it many times, like it's. And the coach has played, born in Canada, but he's played in Canada. He's played in New Zealand, like whatever you want to call professionally for softball, but he's played all over the world. And I'm just like, there's a different level of like want to there. It's not like your normal, like a gym teacher, like I'll be the coach just to have somebody out there. It's like, does somebody know that whatever the highest level for men's softball is? So you've got to realize that unless the pitcher's like crying and just like breaking down, which she isn't, because she again knows this is the way it's going to be. She's taking too much personally into that and doesn't like the coach. I'm like,
Not a lot you can do.
I don't like 85 to 95% of my coworkers.
Right?
You don't fucking sit if you're gonna bail every time you don't like something. It'd be a fucking tough life.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one that catches for Naomi, she wants to join track. I'm like, I'm just like, I said, I don't know what to say, man. I don't. It's beyond frustrating to me because I know a lot of people are going to look back at when they make these choices and that I fucked up. But yeah, you did. Now that you're older, I'm going to tell you you're a fucking idiot. Right
If
now,
they actually look back on it and say that they fucked up, because there are those situations in which they may not think that.
Well, yeah, because again, they're still looking for excuses 20 years later.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just like, so now for a softball season where I was like fairly amped about it, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck. Because there was another catcher that was a catcher for, I think, like the summer team a couple years ago. But that's one you can't rely on. It's just like we'll get hurt or nicked up or something, and all of a sudden that just like pops the bubble of enjoyment. And then you like craters herself, and I'm like, oh, you can't have that as a catcher. You need somebody as a rock back there. So I don't know. You look forward to some things in life, and then you get the bankrupt from the Wheel of Fortune. You're like, fuck.
One day at a time.
Or the whammies pop.
Right.
Good old press your luck.
Fuck. Oh, so yeah, that's where my fun times are.
Hopefully, they get something figured out sooner than later when it comes to that bullshit. So
Knowing them, it's go into the season and who knows? I don't know.
For about a
Hopeless.
hot second, I thought you were done, Dave. I thought she was done playing softball. I was under that impression for a while. I didn't understand it was summer ball that she wasn't playing.
No, because there's nothing 14U and above. You get 14U and that's it. Where it tops out in Ely. And so she was still able to pitch last year the time they needed her, which again she was not excited about because she knew the result and what it was going to be because of the people on the team and exactly how we both knew it would play out. And I said, just pitch for you, pitch for you, pitch for you, because again, none of these other people give a fuck. But yeah, then I saw something on Instagram. I follow a lot of like the Minnesota summer teams, and there's one that's, when I say it's up here, it's like, I want to say either outside of Cloquet, Duluth, it's somewhere out there. But the Minnesota Riveters, and they were looking for like a 16U pitcher. Yeah, it said, took a screenshot, sent it to her, said, email them, they're looking for a pitcher. Well, she didn't do it for like a week, so by the time she did it, we filled that position. I'm like, this is on you.
right.
I'm like, fuck you. You that phone's gonna hit the bat real quick. So if you ain't using it for this shit, you don't need to be using it for anything else. And I said, you're fucking dumb. You need to do this right away if this is something you want. Because nobody's coming up to northeastern Minnesota to fucking Ely to scout a pitcher that can't hit. I said, you got to get your fucking ass in gear if you want your, whatever you say your goal is to actually come true. Because right now, you'd be lucky to play at the community college. It's up to you. I don't give a fuck, but don't ever come back to me and say, I wish. I'm going to tell you right then and there, shut the fuck up. It's on you. It ain't on me. So I'm like, that's on you. And people, Trista said at times that I'm a little too harsh. I'm like, well, again, I've
Life's
said to her,
harsh.
I said, I would have killed to have my old man push me, and not even push me. This wasn't even pushing. This is, you've expressed what you want. That doesn't match up with the effort that's being given. So
Right.
when you want this, and this is in the fucking toilet, this isn't going to happen. Guaranteed. So, and I'm not going to be the one that's always like, oh, well, we got to try. I can't do that. I don't work that way. It's either you fucking bust ass or do it, or don't fucking complain about it.
I'm
You
at the
tell me,
point.
hey,
Go ahead.
if you tell me you want to do it, you need to be part of the figuring out process. It's not my goal. It's not my dream. It's not, I won't say it's not what I want because I want it for her, but it's not something I can obtain for you. I can do everything in my power to help obtain it for you. You have to be the catalyst.
And I'm the opposite. I gotta make sure the kid don't burn out. Two days a week, team practice, 2 days a week, Mad Serbian, 1 day a week, Tatenda, and then 2 days. Usually now we have boarded 1 day and we have a V11. So 7 days a week, she's got something going on. And she wants it. Like, he wanted her to stay with the older kids last night, but she trained in the morning because her and Meredith had the day off. They were at Tim's new facility training. And he wanted them to be the first ones. So they christened it yesterday morning. And Meredith said she was on it like Blue Bonnet. And then last night he was happy and he wanted her to stay, but she'd already landed on her hip mid-high diving so many times, and she played Friday night and she hit her hip a couple times, and she was like, I don't want it to be sore because I have a match Sunday. So she dialed it back. I said, I'm happy you told me. I don't want you to get where your hips freaking in this perpetual pain where you can't freaking move and you're 14.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's girls that come in there, their legs are taped up from the bottom to the top with that tape around their knees. Hips got tape. I'm like, take your daughter off the field for 5 minutes. Like I tell Sia, you hurt? Are you injured or you hurt?
Yeah.
If you're hurt, you ain't playing. When she had her concussion and shit, when she had her arm broke, I ain't taking the chance because she's 14. But these parents say, "Oh, this girl's got a full leg brace on her leg and she's playing like a robot." And then she uses the brace, so when she gets into people, she hits them with the brace. The ref was like, "What are you doing, young lady?" She's like, "What?" He goes, "You're using that as a weapon." He goes, "That's your one warning. Next time you do it, you're getting a yellow card." And then the dad started yipping, and he goes, "There's your yellow card. You did it for her because you clearly saw it.
Yeah. You're watching for
He's
it.
coming out of the net, and she just blasts right into her, knee on knee. You tell me that wasn't on purpose? Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining, because it ain't." Outlaw Josie Wales. I reckon so. I try not to get fired up in my old age, but
Yeah, how well is that working out for you?
better than usual. I don't get as fired up, except when it comes to her, because she's my. Speaking of fatherly motivation, mine gave me basically a 2-hour didactical speech of how I must continuously raise my child as a reminder to me. I'm like, Dad, I got it. And he's like, I know, but I'm just mentioning things. And it's him just trying to pass on.
Nuggets.
I don't know. One day I won't have it, so I take it while I got it.
And that should always be the case.
Yep. 2 hours and 1 minute last night of. Then he looked at the clock. He goes, "You got to go to work tomorrow, boy." And I'm like, "Yep." It was like 11:40 something. And he's like, "You got to go to work." He goes, "Call me on Fridays." I said, "Yeah, your granddaughter's got a match at 9 o'clock at night." I said, "You want me to call you 11?" He goes, "I might just be up. Ring the phone. If I don't answer, I'm sleeping." He goes, "I can't get it." He still can't get into a schedule after my brother. So he said some nights I'm up sitting there watching YouTube. He goes, "I watch you guys from time to time." He goes, "Who's the new guy?" I said, "That's Michael." He goes, "I haven't heard about Michael before." I said, "He collects Clay Matthews." He goes, "That's that long-haired player from the Packers." I said, "That's Dad. Good job. Good job." Because he's built like a brick shithouse. And I'm like, also correct.
He looks like he can still play.
Yeah. I bet.
Well, he asked me last night. He goes, "Did Tomlin quit?" I was like, "Yeah, Dad.
Yeah.
Tomlin quit." He goes, "I haven't watched a television since September 9th. Since September 9th. He said, "I have not turned on the TV. Your mother has it on." But he goes, "I told her take the cable out." He goes, "If I got YouTube and basic cable," he goes, "as long as I have YouTube," he goes, "I don't care about anything else." So my dad's a YouTube. I said, "You should start your own channel. Do something like sharpen knives." So I have like a catalog of all this shit that, that I have for the future. He's like, "How would I do that?" I said, "When I visit next time, I'll show you how to shoot a video on your phone and upload it. It ain't nothing to it."
Yep.
So Vinny Sr., Uncle Vinny
Coming
and C, and Vinny Sr.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. It would be awesome. I would be tickled pink.
Well, since we're ending on a positive note, Dave, wrap us up. Because Michael needs to go to bed. He needs his beauty sleep.
Yeah.
And a lot of it.
A lot. I don't think there's enough hours in a year.
I love you, Michael. You know that.
Well, thanks for everyone watching, commenting, doing your thing. Watch the games. Have all your electronic devices charged because it's going to be cold and maybe snowy, so power might go out. That's always fun. Other than that, enjoy some pizza, buy some cards, consume some content.
Don't get caught up in the curtain.
For Michael, for Vincenzo, for Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the IRP. Remember, collecting cards, it's a wonderful hobby. It's the Hall of Famers that really matter. Congrats to Andrew Jones, Carlos.
Dang right.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good night,
night.
everybody.